Welcome again to Nino's product reviews. Today we're going to take a look at the MiNi LED projector sold by DB Power. So if you take a look at the pictures here, you can see HDMI, VGA, USB, audio, SD card support, and AV cables. On the side we see the DB Power sticker, and on the other side pretty much the same, only as well that basically the information that it varies in color. You can order it in several different colors, which is nice, but let's take a look at what's inside. So excuse me, if we open this, let's just see how we're going to find pretty standard packaging so far. It does seem nice and soft, and I hope that everything inside is gonna be well secured. Let's see. Yep, there it is. So yeah, on the left side here you can see the actual device, and here we have a power cord. I'm just gonna put this on the side. An AV cable adapter, I'd say. Yeah, so if you have an AV cable in an older TV, for example, or VCR, not TV, you don't want to connect to a TV, you could use the adapter. We just saw the remote control, nothing special really. And let's take a look at the actual device. I'm gonna pull it out now. What I already like about it, mine is in white, as you can see, the DB Power logo on top right of it, and it really feels very nice in the hands. It does not feel flimsy and cheap. Here in the back we can see we have the IR, USB entrance, HDMI, VGA, AV, sound, DC, and the speaker, which was on the bottom left. And in the front we have the lens itself with a cover. So let's take a look at what's here. I guess this is the date at which it was produced. I'm not quite certain, but 13th March 2015. So if that's correct, this thing has been assembled very recently, which is good, but I might be wrong. I'm not quite sure what that date stands for, so didn't take my word for it. And we have the manual here. If we take a look at all the sides, I'm trying to figure out if there is also another language. Obviously English is there, which is a good sign, although this is a very simple kind of projector, so I think we won't have that much trouble figuring it out on our own. I'm gonna put this on the side and let's take a look at everything that was inside. Okay, let's still leave the manual here. Placing the remote control nice, and the cables here. There we go. That's pretty much what's inside the package. One of the advantages this device brings with itself is its price. It's fairly cheap, so obviously we can't compare it. It wouldn't be fair to compare it to things like 500-600 euro beamers, but it does offer a USB entry, and it can actually play movies from USB, from a USB stick, which is very convenient. I've already tested it just now and it worked just fine. It also has other options, so like for example SD card. But what I'm gonna do now is I'm actually going to plug in my PlayStation 3 and see if it's possible to play this, because quite honestly this device is I imagine it is an excellent alternative if one wishes to go on a holiday and, for example, bring a console but you don't have a TV. So let's take a look at that. I mean, that seems pretty exciting to me. All I need is to plug in this cable as well as the power cord, of course, which I will do now, and we're basically ready to go. Now, important thing, don't forget to remove this cap here, and also adjust your lens by turning this once the device has started. I'm now going to turn off the light and move on to the actual game to see how it runs on this, just for the fun of it. So I've started Resident Evil 3 on the beamer through my PlayStation 3. As you can see, I'm beaming this on the wall next to my bed, and I've measured 153 centimeters diagonal, which adds up to about 60 inches of screen, which really does give me the cinema feeling I've mentioned before. Here I'm actually using an external sound device, a small portable Bluetooth speaker, which can also be connected via cable. I'll show you later how it's done, so that you know. The sound will not sound very good to begin with because my camera, I'm not using an additional microphone for it. This is all about the video really. And if you pay attention, it's playable. It's definitely not perfect. It's not the most gorgeous picture you can find, but this is definitely playable. I found it absolutely acceptable. As you can see, I can read the font. Okay, the picture is not quite as clear, but you have to also consider that the camera does not catch the video the way the human eye can see it. So I could say easily that this is a bit better than what you actually see, but it's definitely playable and definitely gives me the advertised cinema feeling, which we'll see later with a movie, for example, when I play that. But yeah, this is pretty cool. I actually like that a lot. You can see the details are still visible. It's really nice. I was actually pleasantly surprised, considering the fact that this is such a cheap device compared to devices which would need for this, because gaming beamers, that's kind of a weird expression, but beamers which you could use also for gaming, which, you know, give you a really awesome high definition picture, cost easily 700 to 800 euro. I've actually informed myself regarding this, and here, as you can see, I don't really have that much of a problem playing the game. I can see all the quick time events, I can react. This is Resident Evil 6, by the way, a game which for some reason got really bad reviews. I actually enjoyed quite a lot. I thought it was really awesome game, a lot of fun, but we're not here to talk about the game. I just want to mention that because I think the people don't do it justice. But yeah, you can see this is actually a great example of the portability of this little beamer. You could literally take this somewhere with you, or take back a PlayStation 3 as well if it's not too much for you, and go play somewhere else. You know, this just gives you an option, especially if you don't have a huge TV or a huge screen of any kind. This is actually a really viable option, and I was positively surprised, so I decided to share this with you guys. But let's move on to other media types and other connection types, because I could stay here, play the game for a while, and tell you about how it is definitely playable, and it's pretty cool. But you've already seen that, so yeah, let's move on then. So another function that I really value is the possibility to just use an SD card and stream. I'm using stream, although the word should be project, but never mind. Just pretend I didn't say that so far. And project video on your wall and listen to it through the built-in speaker is, like I said, the SD card itself. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna just insert it, and we're gonna see how good of a picture this thing can actually produce with an SD card plugged into it. Now this is what you will see if you insert an SD card or a USB stick for that matter, and obviously there's no direct signal, so you gotta click source on the remote control and select the SD card, which I just did. There we go, and I have two files because I just want to test something. Now if you just click OK on top of it, it's gonna give you a preview, and then you have to press the play button on your remote control. This is an episode of The Walking Dead. Very nice show from AMC. So as you can see, we're looking at it right now, and it looks and sounds okay. Be aware that this is actually now the speaker on the device itself. You will not hear it as well as it really sounds. It's actually quite loud and quite understandable. Just my camera's microphone, building microphone, is not as good, and I didn't want to pull out another microphone just for this because it's all about the video, but you can take my word on it. It actually sounds really good, and everyone can hear it clearly in the room. So yeah, that's a bit of a dark scene. That's why it looks that, but that's intended. And yeah, so as you can see, that works great as well. So we're gonna move on now. This was one of the products that actually really managed to surprise me positively, because I had read some negative comments about it, and due to its very cheap price, I was kind of expecting to have a fairly cheaply built and low quality kind of unit. But this thing actually turned out to be pretty nice. I'm just showing you some of the entrances, ports and cables that are included here, how they go in. Another thing I want to show you is I actually used an external speaker. Here is something that you can use for the portability if you want a bit more powerful sound. Here, just using an external speaker. I'm going to use a small cable to connect this Bluetooth one, but it can be connected like that too. And then I'm gonna have a much nicer audio as well. Of course, you can use anything, including a hi-fi or whatever you have. But back to this, I was really positively surprised about this, and I really think that it's a great buy. It's one of those things that really are so useful, and especially if you want to travel, you can always take this along with you and have a great time with it. It's super easy to set up, takes literally a few seconds. It just needs a few cables. It doesn't weight, it doesn't take much space. Yeah, I can definitely recommend this, and I can really say the people who spoke negatively of it, I find it unfair towards the product. It really is great. So yeah, that's pretty much my review of it. I